Hey guys, absolutely big news for me and my guild. We have officially placed top 3 at the end of the GVG season, which is not only a little bit of a flex, but also if you go into, and I don't entirely know where to find, the Hall of Honor, we are now forever going to be 3rd place in Season 8, which is a big achievement, and I'm very, very proud of my guild. Props to them, they're all amazing, and I could not have asked for a better group of people. So absolute shout outs to them. But I want to go into a little bit more of how this achievement happened. The things that we do, especially in the communication side of things, that a lot of people just simply do not talk about. GVG videos are largely about attacking or defending and nothing else. And something that I always wondered when, I started GVG, I was very lucky to be in a very good guild, the Shire originally, who took me in when I was still too weak. So I know a bit more, and I've always kind of known a bit more than the average player. But realistically, no one ever talks about the communication side of things. So I want to go over that today, some things that we did to nail down that top 3, and I'll admit, overall, it's mostly because the ranking system sucks, which I'll break down a little bit later, but I just want to go into this now. So as you can see, everything is in here, Rising Horde. If you want to apply, you can. I'll try to link the server in the description. Basically, we got 3 guilds, and the main one is Rising Horde, my guild, where I'm technically guild leader. I'm basically Joe Biden, let's be real. I don't really do anything. But either way, Rising Horde, this is the Discord, and there are a lot of things that we do here. So obviously there's some normal channels, some general sharing things. We got the main channels. That's not important, right? What I want to go into is this. This is the main thing, or one of the main things. We also have something very big down here, which I'm going to go over in a second. So first of all, when it comes to GVG, it's not only about account strength, it's also about communication. Figuring out what type of BPs are too high or too little for certain things. And, telling the high BP people to attack the harder teams and the low BP people to attack the lower teams. That's very important. But not only that, it's also coordinating setting defenses. Setting defenses is incredibly important. So the way that we handle this sort of thing is we have something called attack forum, where essentially when someone sets a team, like for example, Ronan here, Ronan's a new recruit, shout out Ronan. Basically, the way that it would work is we would take a screenshot of the team, explain, the awakenings and stuff if it's relevant. And this would just be like, hey, this is set. And then someone can go in, see that, hey, this guy is, pretty easy. They go in, they figure out the team, they go in, they beat it. That's kind of it, right? That's essentially how it goes. And aside from that, we also have defense forums where we get to, I mean, you can see the amount of messages friggin' in here. It's basically Para, who is the GOAT, shout out Para, basically gives defense suggestions. There's a lot of this. I mean, we have a place for attack codes because these transfer across different matches. We have enemy recon where we're able to grab pictures of opponents and scout out their awakenings. This is important. If you're trying to compete for a top 5 slot or even a top 3 slot, you gotta have this stuff, right? We have set assignment where people will get pinged saying, hey, you have these heroes, you're like one of the only people that can set this. Can you set this for us? This is a pretty big thing too. We just have some general channels. And then we have stuff like BP sheets, which I'll show in a bit. But this is all very important, right? Aside from that, it even goes a little bit further to here. We have the attack library and the defense library. I'm gonna go over the defense library first because the attack library has a strat that we kept hidden for a very long time. If we go over here, you can see that it's split off into factions and it shows a ton of potential teams. This is such a useful tool, especially for me. Sometimes I'll set defenses on other accounts, or I'll try to help some friends out in other guilds. And I just simply, not everyone can set every team, right? We don't all have Ymrit. We don't all have Ardea. We don't all have these important heroes, right? So this is very, very helpful. You can skim this, look through, see which teams work the best, right? And it goes even further to every single other faction. I mean, hell, we got friggin' cultist teams. There's a one potential Northerner team, which is garbage, and no one used it. And then we get Infernal. Yeah, so that's something big we did as well. And when either our teams get beat or our opponent teams get beat, we save the strat. So it shows a picture of the team and also how to beat it. This was very big as well. There were certain teams. There was one specific, one chaotic team. This one right here was really strong. This was like the most meta defense last season, and it didn't really sneak through as much this season. But there was one specific strat. I don't know if I can find it. You know, it's kind of hard to skim. There was one kind of strategy that involved destroyers that had an almost full success rate, and we would not have remembered if we didn't save it in here. That's very important too, right? And then we go to this secret library. This was a big thing that we saved for the last week. We knew about this for a decently long time. JLo had been working on this for a while. So the new Chaos Demon Soldiers are, frankly, broken, okay? They're disgustingly strong. And what you could do with them is you could actually just straight up kill Wukong teams. Now, these were the most common teams, and the new Demon Soldiers paired with freaking rare archers, which is wild, would pretty much kill the entire team because they would just kill Wukong and you could easily dog through it. This was something we kept hidden for the last week, and it really did save our asses against one of our opponents. And this was really, really good as well. Now, there were not only could you kill Wukong, you could also, at the same time, kill certain Cyrus teams. Now, I don't really have an example here for you guys, or maybe this one is. Yeah, this one's probably good enough. You can kind of see that if you killed Cyrus skeletons, then you could just archer down Cyrus, and Cyrus freaking dies. And it's a win at that point, right? There was a lot of stuff like this that we kept in mind as well. But really, the main two things aside from this is, number one, having a really good team. Absolute shout out to every single guildmate, especially people like Para, who are goated and really, really carried us. I'm very proud of everyone. So massive props to them. And then the other thing is the matchmaking for this game is the worst matchmaking system to ever come out of any video game ever. Now, the top 5 is pretty good, I would say. Immortal Elite, obviously number 1. I would say Shire is number 2, and Dragon Slayer is number 3. That's pretty even. Rage is very strong, Awakened Chaos is very strong, and we're pretty strong. I'm sure there's one other guild who's not even in the top 10 that could beat us, but realistically, we only lose to 5 guilds, right? So I would say we did kind of deserve to be up here, but compared to people like the Shire, which is the only guild to beat Mad ever, the fact that they didn't even place second is wild to me. And then you could go down, and there are a lot of good opponents down here. Like Sin Overlords has been in Overlord basically since GVG came out. They didn't make it this time. Our second guild basically never lost and still made it to like 70th. Right here, Immortal Horde. They're definitely Overlord material. They didn't land Overlord, right? There's a lot of examples like this, and the ranking system just simply is bad. The last week, we got the Chinese guild, Talent Mansion. This is like a fringe top 10 guild, very strong guild. We beat them by like 20%, and then we ended up getting Cossacks, which we beat them by about 25%. So we got relatively easy opponents for us, And it just let us shoot up because we were number 6 going into last week. We won 2 matches. Shire got kind of shafted by fighting Immortal Elite second day, so they didn't hit second. You know, there's a lot of examples of this. The ranking system just simply does not work in this game. There's a lot of guilds that should be Overlord that got shafted. There's a lot of guilds that should be higher that got shafted. Either way, it's a good achievement, and I just kind of wanted to highlight a couple of the things that not a lot of people talk about when it comes to GVG. At the end of the day, you do not need to enjoy GVG. You do not need to take it as seriously as we do. But this is my favorite part of this game, and I know it is the favorite part of a lot of people. So, at the end of the day, this is a very, very exciting accomplishment for all of us. So, here, just showing all of the members as I kind of sign out. And yeah, shout out to everyone who made the journey possible. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Destined signing out.